Hey everybody, welcome to Action Figure Window Shopping episode 65, the show where I take a look at some cool toys and collectibles that caught my eye, usually over the past week or so, and then I share my thoughts and opinions about those with you. Now, it skipped last week, so I didn't get to show any of those announcements. So before I go on to the things that I actually found this week, I wanted to just take a really quick moment to look at these newly announced McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures based on the upcoming Flash movie, and there's quite a few. This is coming from the McFarlane Toys store, and if you want everything, I mean, all the statues, the vehicles, the figures, you can get them for $474.99. That includes 12 pieces, including the McFarlane Toys store exclusives. So look at that. 6 7-inch figures. You get 3 12-inch statues and the 3 vehicles, which includes the Batmobile, the Batcycle, and the Batwing. Gold label, McFarlane Toys Store exclusive. So if you're all in, it's going to cost you nearly $500 to be all in. But if you rather just do things piecemeal, you can do that too. Here are the most expensive things from this line, from this movie, that you can get. The first one being here, this 12-inch resin statue from DC Direct of Batman. And then also here, the Batwing. Now, this was kind of shocking when I saw this price, $250. By far the most expensive plastic-based DC Multiverse vehicle or item, period, since McFarlane started doing this line. Now, granted, this thing is huge. It has a 34-inch wingspan that is absolutely massive, but I am curious about this price here and how many people are actually going to want to pick this up for this price, because $250 is a lot of money. It can fit the 7-inch scale figures. I mean, it better for that much. It has retractable landing gear, easy to open cockpit and boosters, and includes a collectible art card with figure photography, as all of them do. So really, pretty much what you're getting here is just a massive mold and a massive size. So here are a few more pictures of this here Batwing. There's the stand right there. Love that Batman logo. There's the other side of it. And then, yeah, you can stick the one Batman figure in it. So, yeah, it's pretty massive, but yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the only thing you got going for it. They got some worn areas right there. A little dry brushing perhaps right there, and a little bit of scuffs here and there. I'm sure that you can definitely make that Batwing look a little bit more weathered if you wanted to. But $250, I wouldn't want to do that to something that I spent $250 for. I feel like it should be, pretty much good right out the box. But moving on from there, there's also a 12-inch resin statue of the Flash. There he is right there. Let's get a closer look at him real quick. Cool stuff there. He's got his logo base. Cool lightning effects coming out in June. And then here are all of the other bundles. You got the unmasked Michael Keaton Batman right there, as well as the masked one. There's that Batmobile that's sold out right now. McFarlane Toy Store for $60. Here's the regular plastic 12-inch Batman statue for $40, as well as the unmasked Batman statue for $40, and then the Batcycle for $30. And one thing that really caught my attention, because ever since I started this whole journey of 3D printing things, I was really fascinated by this price here, this $250 price. So what I did was I went over to Printables, and I saw that there is a bust of Batman from Batman Returns, so it's also Michael Keaton, that you can download if you have a Resin 3D printer, and you can print it out. So you can scale this up depending on how big you want it. It comes in 2 pieces. So what I did is I took this and I scaled it up to be around 10 inches. And then I also did the base so that the base would basically bring us above the 12-inch mark. And what I found out from doing that, just real quick, is that it would cost about $6.50 worth of resin to make that was essentially a 12-inch bust of Batman. Now, granted, it's a hollow bust, which means that, it's hollow in the middle. So it saves you some money on resin, but you can also make it solid. And if you did that, let's just say that it makes that statue twice as expensive and you use twice as much resin. So even if we do that, then we're only talking about having like $13 worth of resin to make a solid 12-inch bust of Batman. Now it's not painted, but I really did think that that was, interesting that even if we super rounded that up to like $20, you would still get something that's just as big as this, that's just as detailed as this. It's just not painted, but it's still resin. So yeah, that's just a little 3D printing little tidbit from me. But anyway, that's it from the McFarlane Toy Store. Oh, and if you're interested in that 3D printing stuff, I got 2 videos up so far, so you can check those out if you want. All right, so let's move on. I found out about this Kickstarter campaign called Almighty Legends, and it has 217 backers with 12 days to go. They're reaching for a goal of $97,000, and they have $58,463 at the recording time of this video, so they're behind on their goal. But what was fascinating to me about this is here's the synopsis behind it. So they wanted to, by the way, the creator of this project is Dakra Bush, an avid toy collector, father of 5, and a custom action figure artist. So that's the creator of this project. And the idea behind it was to deliver a unique and thoughtful action figure line that will create a positive change in the way collectors, both young and seasoned, collect and play. Almighty Legends aims to blend the greatest story ever told with the youthful imagination of those that love classic action figures. And these figures are based on the Bible and take a legendary approach. Now, I'm going to tell you that this is just a coincidence because I know I showed off another Kickstarter that was also like Bible related. So I'm not trying to shove religion down your throat. It's just something that popped up. And I thought that the characters were pretty darn interesting, and that's why I'm showing it to you. So it's not a religion thing. But anyway, so here are the 3 Almighty Legends. So we have 3 archangels here. So there's going to be Gabriel the messenger, Michael the defender, and Raphael the healer, followed by the 4 horsemen: war, conquest, famine, and death. So here are some cards of what those horsemen look like, and then some 3D renders. So there's Azrael right there. There's Gabriel. There's Michael. And there's Raphael. And then the horsemen of death: famine, war, conquest. And this is what these figures are going to look like, and the different accessories that come with them. I really do like wings that come with pretty much any figure. I love to see wings. Look, all these little individual parts to show how they come together, and the packaging and all that good stuff. And also has collector's cards, and how Kickstarter goes. It shows you the different contribution levels. But the reason why I kind of found out about this in the first place is because even though this is a Kickstarter project, over on Big Bad Toy Store, they are already accepting pre-orders for it. And it says that they're going to arrive in the 4th quarter of 2024. But then even down here at the bottom, it says that this is a crowdfunded project. And if the project fails to fully fund, the items may not be produced and pre-orders may be canceled. So I thought it was really odd how they have a product page up at Big Bad Toy Store with the ability to pre-order, but the campaign could fail and you may not get anything at all. So I'm like, how did they even get a page up on Big Bad Toy Store for a crowdfunding thing? Does this count towards the Kickstarter? I don't know. It's very strange. But anyway, just to go over what some of these figures are like, it has 34 points of articulation with fully articulated wings, extra accessories, and this figure here has a scythe, a sword, a pair of removable fully articulated wings, and a pair of lower wings that are removable with limited articulation, but are ideal for customizing 4-inch figures. But the figure itself is going to be 6.5 inches, made of fabric and plastic. And let's take a look at some of these pictures here. So this is going to be Azrael. This is going to be Death. There he is right there without without the wings, but just with the sword. 54.99. So the price is, yeah, well, it's all right. I guess kind of depending on the quality of these and how they turn out. And then over here, you have Gabriel. So you kind of got the both opposite sides of the spectrum. All right, you got the light and you got the dark. And as I've said in the past in more than one video, I'm a sucker of white and gold. So this definitely caught my eye. He's the same height, 6.5 inches. Comes with 2 head sculpts, 2 pairs of hands, removable wings, a double-bladed sword, shofar horn, and a Kickstarter / Big Bad Toy Store exclusive base. So here are some pictures of Gabriel here. I think it's just kind of cool as a nice take on that type of biblical story, So he looks like a fully armored up, really awesome looking guy, and not just, a human looking angel that's, kind of lame. He looks like a straight up warrior, and I think that that's pretty cool. As a translucent figure stand, and here are the accessories. But yeah, that's Almighty Legends. So you can go support it if you like this kind of stuff. But I do like the design and how they look. All right, so let's move over to the world of Marvel for a statue of Gambit here from Diamond Select Toys. $59.99 is coming out in July, and that's a really cool effect there. That kinetic energy coming out of his hands there. We got that playing card, the Ace of Spades right there. 10 inches made of PVC. If you're not familiar with the Diamond Select Toys line of action figures and statues, they do a really nice job most of the time. For the action figures, the articulation tends to not be as good as something from Marvel Legends, but the detail is always, in my opinion, much better. And for the statues, for the price that they are, I think that they are good as well. You can go on Amazon and find a whole bunch of older figures and older statues, hopefully for a pretty decent price to kind of whet your appetite and see what you're getting yourself into. But generally, the figures that I have gotten from Diamond Select Toys have always turned out to be pretty good. And Gambit is the man. And they have these really cool bases right here. So that's a nice wide shot of them. Yeah, I just thought that he looked pretty cool for a not so bad price of $59.99. But if you want to step things up a little bit, into the action figure world, newly announced is this Ghost Spider figure, part of the Mezco Toys 112 collective. It's going to be $105 with a non-refundable deposit of $26.25 due today if you choose to pre-order this, and it's going to ship out at some point between December of this year and February of 2024. So you got a good amount of time to wait on this. But this is the Mezco 112 collection, so it's going to be good. So there's our Gwen Stacy Ghost Spider. Flip through a few of these pictures of her, and then we'll be able to see everything that she comes with here. So look at that. 4 interchangeable head portraits. We've got 12 interchangeable hands. How many of us are really going to utilize all of those hands at some point? I think you're never going to get through those hands. And then also a 112 collective display base with the logo and an adjustable post for posing, and the multiverse portal effects, Ghost Spider mask can be held, Spider Sense effects, cell phone, notebook, backpack, and storage with web line. So you're getting a lot of different accessories here. It tells you a little bit about this particular version's alternate universe dubbed Earth 65. Gwen Stacy is the famous web crawler who was once bitten by the infamous radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker. And then she uses her powers responsibly to protect New York and the web of life. That's a good story. But yeah, 112 collective that's coming out. So if you're a fan of the Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman, well, she's not Spider-Woman. She's the Ghost Spider. Go ahead and you can pre-order this bad girl right now. Moving on, going back to Big Bad Toy Store for some smaller type figures. These are from Dark Souls. Really tried to get into it, but I just could not. But these are trading figures, Volume 1. This has a box of 6 figures for $104 coming out in next month, April 2023. So one thing to note here is that they cannot guarantee packaging condition of individual items within the box. But yeah, these are 4-inch ABS and PVC collectibles of some of the more memorable characters from Dark Souls, including Solaire. There he is right there, praising the sun. And then you also get the Firekeeper, Knight Artorias, Oscar Knight of Astora, Dragon Slayer Ornstein. Oh man, I've seen many a Twitch stream with that Ornstein. And Sigurd of Katarina. So there you go. Let's take a look at some more of these pictures here. Praise the sun indeed. They made sure they got a few different pictures of Solaire. All right, so yeah. Really cute looking figures. You know, you don't get too much from the world of Dark Souls as far as figures go. So if you're kind of like into this scale, they look very well detailed. And you get 6 of them. So, you know, divide that up and you'll get your cost per figure. But this is made by Emon and Act Toys. All right, and licensed from Software and Bandai Namco. All right. Moving over also to something that is new that I have not seen before is Myths and Legends, the Once and Future King. These are 1/12 scale figures that comes in a 2-pack for $169.99 in October of 2023, the release date. Now, I saw this, and once again, I'm a sucker for like knights, armor, and gold and white. And this is the first guy that I saw. So I'm like, yep, I'm including it. So this is a 1/12 scale King Arthur and Black Mordred figure set. And it has real metal, and fabric parts that for that extra level of authenticity. And look at all these contents. So for King Arthur, you get the human head sculpt, the lion head sculpt, the helmet head sculpt, sword, shield, cape, and a sash. And for the Black Mordred figure, you get a human head, a wolf head, a helmet head, sword, shield, cape, and sash. So, you know, pretty much the same stuff, just looks a little bit different. And let's just make this full screen almost so that we can see. I really do think that armor looks awesome. Very nicely detailed. Paladin King armor, King Arthur, all armored up. That lion head and the human head. Not really a big fan of this human head. This will be my favorite one right here with the wings on the helmet, followed by the lion. And the dude can just, that head sculpt, that's just not doing it for me. I think compared to the rest of the figure, that head sculpt makes it look kind of cheap. So I don't like that. I think you should keep the helmet on. But yeah, there's a sword. There's Excalibur. And then there's the Black Mordred figure. Wolf head. And again, he's got the same thing going on. That human head just, it's not really doing it. It's not really doing it for me. So I would just keep the helmeted heads on both of these guys. I think that they look the best that way, but the armor is definitely the focal point to me. And yeah, and that's what makes it stand out. Got a couple more figures to show you today. These are going to be up there in price. So this is a statue of the Penguin from Sideshow Collectibles for $700. I mean, it's the penguin that at least I think of whenever I think of the penguin. This is what pops into my head. You know, got the monocle. You know, he's short, he's fat. There's penguins there. He's got the top hat. I mean, this is the penguin. Look at that cool base there. You got some skulls at the bottom of it. You got some really angry looking penguins there. And it's from Sideshow, so you know it's going to be awesome. This is 20 inches high by 16 inches wide by 13.3 inches long. It's made of polystone and fabric. Features a fabric overcoat line with a faux fur trim. All right, so it's a really nice looking statue of the penguin. Look at that face, those wrinkles, those teeth. Really absolutely nailed it. He looks awesome. Nice umbrella as well. Now, the last thing, final figure that I want to show you before wrapping it up today is just, it has so much going on. It's just visually, you'll see. All right, so this is the One Piece God of Thunder Enel versus Luffy limited edition statue. Now, I don't watch One Piece, so I don't know anything about these characters, but this statue, look at all this stuff. Look at these effects, all this stuff that's going on. I mean, it depicts motion. It's almost as if these effects are blurred to make that motion stand out. And I think that's really awesome to capture that in a sculpt. So yeah, look at all these. At that, he looks pretty smug. He looks very determined. And man, those effects just look amazing. And for the price, it darn well better be. Look how tall this thing is. Wow. So look, we're talking $1,439.99. You got to be dedicated to pre-order this thing, because you won't get your $288 back if you don't want it anymore. So this is 24 inches, so it's 2 feet tall. It's made of resin and PU. I don't know what PU stands for. But yeah, it's from One Piece, non-articulated, and only 166 pieces worldwide. 166 pieces. So that's pretty darn rare. What I would really think would make this awesome, and when I first saw this, I thought that it would have like LED lights somewhere in the base to really help that blue pop a little bit more, and maybe even help this red pop a little bit more, but for the most part, the blue. But yeah, there's nothing here that says that it has any type of lights built in. I really think it should have, especially for $1,439. Some lights really would have been great for this. So you can just use it as a centerpiece display, and whoever's walking by it at any time of day, you got that bad boy lit up, and it's just like, wow, it's popping. It's amazing. But yeah, if you've got the money for it, you can support Soul Wing and One Piece by buying this extremely expensive statue that's going to be available in the second quarter of 2023. All right, you guys, and with that, that's going to do it for this episode of Action Figure Window Shopping. Down below, I got a scrolling list of some of the latest subscribers to this channel, Figure Feedback, so thank you all so much for subscribing. And if you like stuff like this, and it's like toys in general, and figures, and talking about them, and customizing, and all that other good stuff, be sure to subscribe to this channel, because that's all that I'm going to talk about here. So thank you all so much for watching, and until episode 66, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.